Ahoy there, mates! Captain Cloud here. This month, the Coast Guard answers calls from rocky cliffs along California's coast to troubled ships far beyond the horizon, while another crew hunts smugglers in the waters of the Bahamas. You'll see daring hoists by the MH-65 Dolphin, including a rescue near Devil's Slide Trail and medical evacuations from cruise ships offshore. Then we'll head south with an HC-144 Ocean Sentry crew assisting Bahamian authorities in stopping suspected traffickers trying to move thousands of pounds of marijuana across Caribbean waters. These are real Coast Guard missions captured on publicly released footage. No staged scenes, no scripted danger. Just trained crews standing the watch when lives and law enforcement hang in the balance. So climb aboard, mates, and let's head into the storm. An afternoon hike along California's rugged Devil's Slide Trail turned dangerous when one hiker suffered injuries in steep terrain too difficult for ground crews to reach quickly. From Coast Guard Air Station San Francisco, an MH-65 Dolphin helicopter crew launched to the scene. The survivor is flown to awaiting emergency medical crews at the Devil's Slide Trail parking area. Another life saved through the speed, precision, and teamwork of the United States Coast Guard. From California's rocky shoreline, we now head deep into the Pacific, where distance and open water make every rescue far more dangerous. More than 58 miles offshore of Oahu, a passenger aboard a cruise ship needed urgent medical assistance. With nowhere nearby to land and precious time slipping away, Coast Guard aviators launched into the vast Pacific night to bring help from above. More than 58 miles offshore of Oahu, a passenger aboard a cruise ship began suffering medical complications, prompting the crew to request immediate assistance from the United States Coast Guard. An MH-65 Dolphin helicopter crew launched from Coast Guard Air Station Barbers Point, heading deep into the Pacific to conduct the offshore medevac. Missions this far from land require careful coordination, fuel management, and precise flying over open water where conditions can change quickly. As the Dolphin approaches the cruise ship, the air crew begins setting up for the hoist. Hovering beside a moving vessel is one of the most demanding tasks in Coast Guard aviation. Winds around the ship constantly shift while the pilots work to hold a steady position only feet above the deck. Inside the cabin, the flight mechanic directs the operation while maintaining communication with the cockpit. Every movement between the helicopter and the ship must be carefully timed to safely transfer the patient aboard the aircraft. Supporting the rescue overhead, an MH-60 Seahawk helicopter crew assigned to Navy Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron 37 provided communications and aerial overwatch for the Coast Guard crew during the medevac. Joint operations like these help extend rescue coverage across the vast Pacific region. Once the patient is safely aboard, the Dolphin crew begins the flight back toward Oahu and awaiting emergency medical personnel. For Coast Guard aviators, distance offshore never changes the mission. Launch quickly, reach those in danger, and bring them home safely. From the warm waters of Hawaii, we now head north to the rugged coastline of Northern California. Another MH-65 Dolphin crew faces a medical emergency at sea, this time near Shelter Cove, where rough coastal conditions and cold Pacific waters leave little margin for error during an offshore rescue. A 45-year-old passenger aboard the cruise ship Queen Elizabeth required urgent medical assistance near Shelter Cove, California, prompting a rescue response from Coast Guard Air Station Humboldt Bay. An MH-65 Dolphin helicopter crew launched to conduct the offshore medical evacuation along Northern California's rugged coastline, an area well known for rough seas, heavy fog, and rapidly changing weather conditions. As the helicopter approaches the cruise ship, the crew begins preparing for the hoist. Offshore rescues demand precise coordination between the pilots, flight mechanic, and rescue swimmer, especially when operating near large vessels moving through Pacific swells. Holding a steady hover over open water is never easy. Wind currents around the ship constantly shift while the air crew works to safely lower rescue equipment onto the deck below. Every movement must be controlled and deliberate to safely bring the patient aboard the aircraft. Once the hoist is completed, the Dolphin crew transports the passenger to St. Joseph Hospital in Eureka, California, where higher medical care is waiting. For Coast Guard aviation crews, missions like this are routine in purpose, but never routine in execution. Whether close to shore or far offshore, these crews remain ready to respond whenever lives are at risk. From life-saving rescues along America's coastline, we now shift to a different Coast Guard mission, protecting the maritime borders of the Caribbean. Near the islands of the Bahamas, an HC-144 Ocean Sentry crew joins Bahamian authorities in the pursuit of suspected drug smugglers attempting to move thousands of pounds of marijuana across open water. A deployed Coast Guard HC-144 Ocean Sentry aircrew assisted the Royal Bahamian Defense Force during a counter-drug operation near Andros, Bahamas. Using the aircraft's long-range surveillance capabilities, the crew helped track a suspected smuggling vessel attempting to move narcotics through Caribbean waters. Maritime patrol aircraft like the HC-144 play a critical role in detecting suspicious activity across enormous stretches of ocean that would otherwise be impossible to monitor continuously. The operation resulted in the interdiction of 3 suspected smugglers and the seizure of nearly 2,570 pounds of marijuana. Missions like this help protect maritime borders and disrupt illegal trafficking routes throughout the region. From cliffside rescues in California to emergency medevacs far out in the Pacific and counter-drug patrols over the waters of the Bahamas, these missions show the wide reach of the United States Coast Guard. Whether saving lives, protecting America's maritime borders, or assisting international partners, Coast Guard aviators continue to stand the watch day and night in some of the world's most challenging environments. To the pilots, flight mechanics, rescue swimmers, and air crews featured in these missions, Captain Cloud salutes you. Thanks for joining me here aboard Pirate of the Sky. Until next time, mates, keep your eyes on the horizon and may the winds stay at your back.